Nobody said that life is easy, although if you look at social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, uh, YouTube, Rumble, social media in general, you'll get the impression that life is easy, everything happens, is always fantastic, always trips on private planes, trips to the beach, to warm climates, to sunshine, do perfectly airbrushed or modified photos, everything just looking almost perfect. And while we know, many of us know that that's not the case, that's not reality. And so it's hard when we have the phone in front of us what seems like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long. And we do a lot of comparison of what we perceive the online community, people we don't even know, celebrities, just average people that we still don't know. Some we may, but a majority we don't, as we're looking through our social media feeds. And it's really what I'm finding. It's hard not to compare where we are, where I am, with others. And so that can be other individuals, that could be other organizations, other companies, and doing that comparison. Well, look at this person, look at this organization. It looks like day to day, year to year, decade to decade, that there's no trouble pulling in funding, donations, sponsorships. And what we fail to look at, especially from my side of things, is it's hard not to compare where we're at versus a person that has a ton of experience in a particular field, or a company that has been in business for 10, 20, 30, 100, 150 years. And so when we do our comparison, we're not really comparing the apples to apples. We're not comparing 10-year experience versus 10-year experience. That there's fluctuations. Another way to think about it is when we look at, again, just comparing where we are as individuals as family members, and whether that's financially, whether that is by, say, how many homes, how many cars, how many trips uh, to a particular family members or parents that they are able to do. And we're, again, not comparing that apples to apples. Most cases, right? Parents are more experienced, older, have been through a lot of different things that we as the children, nephews, grandchildren haven't been through. And so we're not making that comparison again to where we're at is at the same spot as where a family member is. You know, bringing it back to the first part of today's show is we look at an organization, a company, they've been in business 100 years versus a business that's been in around, incorporated for 2 years, 3 years. Big difference. A lot of things change over time. Economy goes up, economy goes down. There's good times, not so good times. There are just a lot of different things that the more experience we get as an individual, as a student, as an apprentice, as a rookie, look at the pro sports, rarely do players come right out of college and make huge impacts. They might do very well, but sometimes it takes a year or 2 or 3. We look at football and quarterbacks. Quarterbacks at the top of their class get drafted, and they may spend many seasons learning, studying, watching the starting quarterback at their team. You know, I can think of, right, we had Brett Favre and we had Aaron Rodgers. You know, there was some time that had elapsed. There was Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. And so those are just two examples to share. And it's important that we have these conversations, even if it's in our heads and our minds, because no matter how wonderful, how seemingly perfect a photo, a video, anything is, and we compare it to ourselves, we're not going to be satisfied, because there's always going to be somebody out there, or another organization out there, that has had more experience. Again, more experience, been around longer, uh, been able to grow customers for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Whereas an organization is less mature, meaning just younger in years, they're going to be reaching out. We're going to be reaching out to individuals who, a lot of them already have their mind made up, per se, of who they're going to do business with, and individuals. The same thing when we look at, you know, an organization that has employees, and individuals tend to fare a lot better if they know somebody at that organization, and that's word of mouth. That's knowing a friend of a friend of a family member gets you that foot in the door. It gets your resume, your profile seen by the actual decision maker, or if there's more than one decision maker. And that's another thing that's hard to do in any job market, looking for a new role. Joanne Fabrics, they came out with some pretty dire news. They're filing for bankruptcy again unless the organization is purchased. Everybody from staff in the store to the staff in the office, they're out of a job. And so how do you like that after the holidays, coming in to work or logging in remotely, virtually, to find that out? And then, oh, by the way, there's no severance pay. That, oh, we let you know last week what was going on. And so the fact that we're allowing you to work the next 6 weeks, that's your severance. Yeah, that's a situation that people have to work through. And people have significant others, they have families, they have children, and as we know, bills. I think it was a Destiny's Child song back in the day. Bills, bills, bills. Bills, they keep coming. And the bills don't care if a situation like the one at Joanne Fabric has occurred, or whether you've been promoted and doubling your salary. The bills are bills, and the bills want to be paid. It's that simple. So as we step through the first part of 2025, and we look at how easy it is to compare ourselves to others, how easy it is to take a conversation, a message that on the surface and below the surface makes us feel say not only the comparison, but not worthy, I guess, in a way, right? The more times we go after something, a job, an opportunity, and for those opportunities, those things not to happen the way we envision in our mind, uh, it hurts. It hurts as just a human being. And having to go day to day to continue on is something that's very, very hard to do. We talk about, actually, referring back to one of my recent conversations that you saw with Life Warrior United Mark McAdams, and we talked about how difficult sometimes it can be to get a shower, to brush our teeth, little things that we think are little, that we think other people think are little, that we think they're just minor, small things. Well, on the surface, they seem to be, for anybody that's going through any type of difficulty, it's hard to do. There's quotes and comments galore out. Pick yourself up, from by the bootstraps, and keep going. And again, that's one of those quotes, those comments that it's much easier said than done. Because when we sometimes look at ourselves as not needed, not useful, not helpful enough, it's not that we're not helpful or not useful, it's that we're not helpful or useful enough. Because if we were, we would be in a different spot. We would have made it past this hurdle and that hurdle and this situation and that situation. And talking the way we're talking in this episode, sometimes I think even still it gets frowned upon. We're talking about touchy-feely things, empathy, and feelings, and those aren't exciting, and those aren't masculine, and so we still want to talk about these things because there are still people that are watching us, listening to us, that are going through hard times. We're going through hard times as an organization, as an individual, of what's next, what else can we do, how can we help people, how can we continue not only to help people, but to in a way, prove it to people, to groups that don't see it or don't believe it. And it's very hard. And that can lead to a lot of things. Burnout being one of the big things. Because we're focusing on one thing, two things, three things, four things. We check off those 4 boxes, and then we continue going on. Then we look to an opportunity, whatever that opportunity may be. And if that goes well, then we're able to breathe a sigh of relief for the time being. If it doesn't go well, and this is the part that I think is really hard, when it doesn't go well, when we don't get the thing, we don't get what we're searching for. Again, it doesn't mean we're not helpful enough, that we're not useful enough. It means that at this point, in this particular situation, doesn't mean in all situations. It just means in this situation that we have to look elsewhere. We have to keep going. And so those 4 things that you check those boxes off, well, we gotta feel, and speaking from experience, the way I feel useful is but by doing things, completing tasks, filming content, sharing it with you. Whether you're watching this for 30 seconds or you're watching it for the full episode, whether you've been with us from the beginning or you're tuning in and this is the first episode and that you've made it through 20 plus minutes. Because maybe some of the things that we're talking about, maybe that reflects a little bit of somebody you know. And at the end of the day, I think we want to help people, whatever that might look like for you. It may be something, and this is where sometimes we get tripped up, myself, is we think that helping somebody, a group of people, has to be some grandiose thing, way. And it doesn't have to be. But just as I'm sharing this with you, in my mind, I feel that is the case, where to make a big splash, a big impact, that I need to make a big splash to get attention in a positive light. so that that situation that we talked about, checking off those 4 boxes or those 4 things, and then going after an opportunity and getting not great feedback. That it's the small things that keep us feeling useful. And so, what do I do when, for whatever reason, I don't, I look many years back, and then I look at where I'm at, we're at, from my perspective, and by some of the decisions I've made, a ton of sunk cost that I just paid, because this is the thing. This is going to make the impact. This is going to help us get to that, helping 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And we hear the cost of doing business, that we have to put the work in. We got to put the work in. And so when I do these tasks, I feel like I'm putting the work in. I feel like our organization is putting the work in. And so we have that to be very grateful for, because it's easy to give up. It's easy to say, you know what, we tried, we gave it our best, and leave it at that. However, is that really what we want to do? And these are all thoughts that go on in my mind, potentially your mind. Should I continue? Should we continue going down this route? We're just not cutting it. We're not getting to where we would like to be, to those comparisons of other people, other individuals, other organizations that have a lot more experience at what they're doing and what they've done. And so we call that, we're bringing things back to zero. We're just looking at, here's where we are. Here are the fantastic things we have accomplished. And here are things that we're going to continue to accomplish. And so there's excitement, there's fear, there's being unsure. What do we do? Do we continue? Do we not? And just know that we have some of the same thoughts and concerns as many people. So until next time, we'll see you later.